Hello everybody, I'm DaveChaos and welcome to another review video. Today we've got a combination video, we've got a keyboard, mouse and headset, and these are by the A4 Tech. This is their Bloody range, gaming range. So we're going to check out all three products and we'll have a quick look at the software. We'll do a mic test for the headset, which is 7.1 as well, which is quite nice. So let's get on with it. Alright, so let's start with a mouse. So here we have the bloody ZL5A, and it has like a little door, mouse is there, bit more information. So it's talking about the 4 cores that it's got in here. It basically means it's got different profiles, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in a moment. On the back we've got a bit of information. So we've got 20 million clicks on each of the buttons, which is quite a lot. Now we can reduce that with this core thing that they've been talking about, which again I'll talk about in a minute. Then we've got texturized soft rubber design, which is quite nice. 16 grid calibration with like a sniper button, which is becoming fairly common within these types of mice. Then we've got lightning speed with 8200 CPI. We've got a 1 millisecond ultra response rate, a gear style weapon switch, and durable metal glide pads on the bottom, which we'll take a quick look at. Alright, so let's open it up and then I can tell you more about this profile settings, basically what they are, where it's referring to the Invincible 4 core is basically profile. So here's the mouse. We've got basically a point of sale magazine here. It's just got all the different mice in it, keyboards, headsets, all that sort of stuff. So you can see their full range there. You get a couple of stickers, a little bloody hand there, if I can, they're stuck together. There we go. So if you like to stick stickers on your case or wherever, that's pretty common. And then the mouse itself. So pretty simple packaging. Let's get this out of there. There we go. So there it is. And let's get a closer look at it. So here it is. This is a pretty similar shape to some of the Corsair Raptor mice that they have going at the moment. It's quite a nice shape. I like it. You know, it's quite ergonomical. You can use it whether you're left or right-handed quite easily. The only problem is there's no buttons on the right-hand side if you are left-handed, unfortunately. But yeah, overall, it could be used left or right-handed. Okay, so we've got all the different programmable buttons on here. We've got these quick switch right here, which is basically with your thumb you push it that way or that way and it would switch between these two different profiles. So you've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. So on profile 1, when you switched it that way, it's just like a standard mouse. So you've got normal left and right clicks. You get a single click out of that. If you flick it to profile 2 like this, or core 2 as I like to call it, that basically means when you press this button once, if you're playing an FPS, it would actually fire your gun twice. So it's like an automatic firer. So for example, like in Borderlands, with a pistol, you can only shoot every time you click the button. But with profile 1, it'll shoot once. Profile 2, it'll shoot twice with 1 click. And then it'll shoot 3 times with 1 click from profile 3. And it'll shoot 4 times from profile 4. So you could essentially put it on profile 4, keep your finger on the trigger, and it will continually shoot until your magazine empties. So that's something quite interesting. So when they say you have 20 million clicks, you know, durability, that's 20 million of those, but you could almost get a little bit more out of it if you're an FPS player, or, you know, whatever. I'm just using FPS as an example. You would get more out of it. You get essentially more clicks out of it. So I kind of like that feature. If that's, you know, the sort of game you do. I can imagine for like COD or something like that. You can quickly flick from profile 1 to profile 2 with just flicking it like that, and it'll change that profile. And then you can have the end setting, it's called on here, to, you know, do a double shoot or a triple shoot or something like that. So you could be running around with normal settings on 1, shooting away. I don't know, say for example your magazine runs out, you've got an enemy in front of you, quickly flick to your pistol, you can click it over to profile 2, and you only have to press the button once for your gun to essentially auto shoot, which is really good. Then the other features are, you got your sniper button here. I always call these sniper buttons, but these are basically your DPI change, and you can set this to basically go from one DPI to another, and it's just good for accuracy, so that button's nice to have there. And then you got these two up and down buttons, which are programmable to whatever you like. In fact, you can program them all to different things. Then you've got again DPI settings there, DPI speed. Then you have the bloody hand logo right here. It changes colour depending on what setting you're on. So you know, if you're on 1, 2, 3 or 4, the mouse scroll wheel and that logo change to different colours. Hopefully we can check that out. So for the cable, we've got a 3 meter in length braided cable, always good to see. Pretty standard USB plug on the end of there. So, and the last thing to point out as well, of course, is the chassis is all aluminium, which is nice. So it's pretty sturdy all over there, or aluminum if you're American. And the glide pads on here are actually made out of metal, so they are extremely durable compared to, you know, your bog standard plastic glide pads that you get on there. So you can expect those to last a lot longer than they usually would. Alright, so let's move on to the headset now. Alright, so here we are with the headset. So this is the bloody G501, and this is a 7.1 gaming headset. Again, the front panel opens up with a bit of information about the headset inside there, and you can see the headset itself. And on the back, there's a little bit about switching between different profiles. So we've got like Smart 360 Gaming, 2.0 Music or 7.1 Surround Sound, and of course there's a tone maker, which is basically for adjusting tones so you can hear the sound of footsteps and all that sort of thing better in game. Okay, so let's open it up. I get my little trusty drawing pin, because, you know, I haven't got myself a penknife yet, which is, you know, oddly enough, is quite difficult in the UK. Because knives below a certain size are actually illegal. So, yeah, bet you didn't know that. Okay, let's pop that open. So, similar to the mouse packaging, it comes in a box. Whoops. In a box inside this plastic wrapping. So we've got a card for downloading the software, so that's just a URL on there. Then we've got, again, product guide for all the different products they do. Then we've got a quick setup guide, pretty self-explanatory, you know, showing you how to plug it in, how to use the software, what all the different indicators mean, and probably some stickers. I wouldn't actually get any stickers. So let's get this headset out of the packet. Here it is. So this is, of course, a wired headset. There we go, we got there in the end. So let's check it out. They're quite light, they feel good. So we've got the headband here. It's got the hand logo right there, the bloody hand logo. And this is a memory foam headband just here. So they've only covered this center section. A lot of headbands do the whole thing. But this is the part that actually rests on your head, so they've got some memory foam in there for you. The adjusters on the side are right here instead of down here, but it's not a problem. They are layered with aluminium there, plastic on the back, which makes them nice and sturdy and durable. Quite a lot of extend on it, yeah, nice and flexible. There's also a bit of give just here, so you can twist it if you just turn it that way. So there we go, so we've got quite a lot of adjustability there, which I like to see that. A lot of headsets can be quite stiff and sturdy and tend to be uncomfortable after a prolonged length of gaming. So let's take a closer look at these ear cups now. So here we go. So nice depth to them. They are over ear rather than on ear, which I prefer personally. And again, the depth is important because obviously if they squash your ear too much after a long time, it's going to start to hurt. This is memory foam, nice and soft, looking pretty good. The ear cups themselves don't actually adjust at all. It's the this piece here that does all the movement. You can see we've got this quite a nice shape to it there. I quite like that. On this side you've got the headset microphone, which is actually comes out like this, omnidirectional, so you can just bend it to wherever you like, and that'll be it. And it pushes all the way back in again to about there. It doesn't go in completely, still sticks out a tiny bit. That's not too much of a problem. We'll give this a mic test in a moment. We'll see how that sounds. And then down the line, again, cloth braided cable, always good. We've got the inline controller, so we've got the logo again, which changes colour depending on what profile you're using. So you can see we've got all these different game modes. We've got the mic on and off there. Game modes by pressing this button in the middle, so that's actually a button as well as the indicator. Volume control, and then we've got these different presets. So we've got the gaming mode 2.0 and 7.1 right there, and then a handy little switch. I quite like that, so you don't have to mess around with the software to actually change those modes, which is really good. And then again, we've got a 3 meter length cable here, standard USB plug on the end. Pretty good. Alright, so let's give this a mic test now. This is the microphone test for the bloody G501, and we'll go through the tech rundown of the headset as well. So the headset has 40mm drivers, frequency response of 20 to 20,000 Hz, sensitivity of 100 decibels, and independence of 32 ohms. The microphone has a frequency response of 50 to 16,000 Hz, sensitivity of -58 decibels, and its pickup is omnidirectional. Alright, so now onto the keyboard. This is the bloody B120 keyboard. This has got some interesting features, which we're going to check out right now. So if we look on the back of the keyboard, it says up here, these are the two keys that we're interested in right here. Everything else is pretty much standard, but we've got the auto shot key setting and turbo shot key setting. So this says here, any key can be set to an auto shoot key. To apply, pressing once to continuously click, and press again to stop clicking. So basically, it is what it says. You can press a button on the keyboard which makes you auto shoot in game, which is crazy. So for example, where I think this would come in handy is Minecraft of all games, because you know, when you're mining away, you'll be able to get it to auto click for you. So that's a really interesting feature. And the turbo one is basically the same feature but fast. So that will also, again, you know, in a game like Minecraft, would be pretty handy. So let's get it out and we can have a look at what other features this keyboard's got. So here we go, here's the content. So we get a little bag of extra keys. So we've got WASD in there and a little key remover. That's because these ones are actually texturized, which is really nice. So it's good that they've given you the normal keys just in case you don't quite like them. So we've got a quick setup guide right there, how to use the light and all that sort of stuff, and then another product guide again for all the different products that they do. Okay, so let's get those out of the way and let's take a look at this keyboard. Okay, so the featured keys, the ones that I was talking about, are here. So basically you can set any key, but when you press this one, the key that you've set the auto shoot to then is activated, or the turbo one right there. You've got multimedia keys here with the use of a function key. You've also got a clear settings key here, so as well as this being your escape, you can use this to clear the settings of the keyboard, which is quite nice, you know, because I can imagine you may do quite a lot of things with this and get kind of lost. So some of the other features of this, which I can't actually show you, is it's got double secure waterproofing. So if you spilt something on here, it's going to survive. It's not going to die, which is really quite something, because a lot of keyboards don't really bother with that. So that's something they've took into account as an extra little feature. So they've also designed the keys themselves to have these little cutouts on the corners. So if we just zoom right in a little bit, there we go. So you can see that these little notches missing out of the corners of the keys, and the reason for this is when you're pressing a button, if you overshoot, the idea is you don't accidentally click the other buttons. So for example, if I pressed K, then you know you're alright. If I pressed K like this with my finger right on that corner, because these two buttons here have got those corners missing, it's not going to be really an issue. I'm not going to accidentally press the extra keys together. So that's a nice little feature. There are other keyboards that do that, but they've added that in here as well. Again, the rubberized keys there, really nice. They've put extra springs underneath your spacebar, so you know, if you're gaming away here, then you're not going to have any issues. A lot of space-bars only register the middle of the spacebar, so when you press over here, if you're not quite pressing it hard enough, it may not register that you're pressing the spacebar. So they've actually spring-loaded the whole thing, so it doesn't matter where you press it, it's always going to register without an issue. It's not going to flex about, which, you know, some keyboards do. We also have the standard Windows lock key there, so you can press that, so when you're in game and you press the Windows key by accident, nothing happens. And we also have light settings, so that this does actually light up in red, which hopefully I'll show to you in a minute. And you can just press this button and it has a few different light settings, so you know, 100% light, 75% light, 50, 25 and off. And it also has a 100 Hz report rate, which is pretty standard for a gaming keyboard. So let's have a quick look on the underside. We've got some rubberized feet just here, so you know, it's not going to be sliding around. They've also put some at the back here, which is nice, because sometimes they forget, they just put the rubberized things in the front or just the back and nothing at the front, but they've done it all over here. So you can also use the feet as well. And again, they've had the foresight to think about putting rubberization on the bottom of these feet, because I always use these. I like the angled keyboard like that, so that's nice to see. And then we've got the cable. So this is again a nice 4 meter length cable with a standard USB again, and there we go. So there we are, that's the Bloody Range by A4 Tech. Really quite impressive set of peripherals, quite happy with them. So we'll start with the mouse. The mouse itself was a really good sturdy mouse, and it's in the lower price range. All the peripherals here are, and I think it's around the £30 mark on Amazon, around about there. And the build quality of the mouse is really good for that price range. I've seen mice in the past and they're awful. But this was really good. They've got an aluminium chassis in there. They've got the metal glide pads, really quite good. And like its bonus feature, the plus feature of the mouse is, you know, the ability to have that auto fire. So, you know, you can have it on normal mouse mode, no problem. You can rebind all those keys for different things and just use it as you regularly would with any other mouse. Or you can use it on the auto fire modes where you just flick a switch and, you know, you can do double shots, triple shots and quadruple shots depending on which mode you've got it on. So that's quite a nice little feature. It's quite handy. I did have a mess around with it, and it works exactly as you expect it would. But it does, you know, it would take some getting used to, and I can imagine after a while you would almost rely on it a little bit, and change it to another mouse you would find quite difficult. So yeah, really quite good. For the keyboard, that had a similar sort of feature with the auto fire switches and then the turbo fire switches, and I couldn't think of a situation on where you would use that too much. I mean, in an FPS it wouldn't fit so well. Like, you press a keyboard button and you just fire off a whole magazine, because you don't do that in games. You don't spray a whole magazine of rounds off. You know, you take controlled shots. So my example in the beginning of the video, or earlier in the video, was Minecraft, because, you know, we all know that mining is such a monotonous and boring job. And carpal tunnel in your finger. So I tried it out in Minecraft. You press that button, you set it up obviously, you choose a button, whichever switch you want, and that was it. You just press the button and it was just mining away like heart's content. So it worked really well. And then the rest of the keyboard was pretty standard for a gaming keyboard. You know, you got your lock keys and all that sort of stuff, and you can change the adjustments of the light levels and all that sort of thing. So very good. Again, a lower range keyboard, very well built, and yeah, I liked it. For the headset though, I did have one downside for the headset, and that was the size of it was actually too large for me. I have a relatively small head. It's so weird talking about the head size. But on the lowest setting, without, you know, everything on its lowest setting, it actually sat low on my ears, so the ear cups were low, and I had a bit of leakage around the bottom, so I could actually fit my finger into the ear cup at the bottom of my ear, because the headset sat so low. So if I adjusted it so the ear cups were covering my ears properly, then I'd have a gap at the top, which was a bit of an issue for me personally. But yeah, that's something you want to check if you want to look into this. That you know, the headset will fit you. You know, you can expand the headband to a really huge size. So if you've got a bigger head, you're fine, not a problem. Again, the build quality on them was really good for their price range. I can't fault it at all. And of course, the microphone itself as well was actually quite good. I've done like tests on premium mics in the past, and they've not sounded quite as good as that. So I was really quite impressed on there. So you know, kudos to them on that one. So the audio on the headset was quite good as well. I like the inline controller and your 3 different presets on there with the 7.1, your 3D audio and normal 2.0 as well, which is fine. I like the fact that you can just change it on the fly like that without needing software, closing the game, changing the setting, going back into game, you know what I mean? It's just nice and easy to flick it on the fly. It is, of course, emulated 7.1. But it sounded fine, you know, when I was in game and there was shots coming off on the right hand side and left hand side behind me or whatever, I could always tell where it was coming from, and it sounded fine. There was no tinniness or anything like that. The audio quality was very good, again, for the price range of this headset. So overall, they're a very good set. They're not a premium set, of course, you know, but very good value for money. So I'm going to give them a Hardware Heaven Value Award. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next time. Bye.